Greetings, farmers and gardeners. Green Garden Guy here. Hardly a day goes by I don't learn something new every day. And it was about last Thursday, I believe, that I really got a good education. I got a phone call from a lady named Kawilani Lee, who introduced herself as being from the Hawaii Food Basket. Now, I'd heard of this before. I assumed it was, sort of a donational thing for soup kitchens and stuff. I really didn't look into it. Somebody called me from there, I think, a couple of years ago. Anyway, one of the viewers, I take it was, on the Kona side, had mentioned to her that I had cabbages. Well, it's true. I grow lots of cabbages. She called me up looking for 100 heads. And I went, well, that's interesting. How'd you get my number and blah, blah, blah. And what are you all about? Well, I've said in the past that Hawaii has a number of programs to help try to support local sustainable agriculture. I've mentioned this, and I've had people ask me about them, but the truth of the matter is that I'm just the kind of guy that I really don't go out looking for help much. I take care of things by myself. I got my own ways of dealing with it, And so I really didn't attach myself to or address any of these things that were out there to help us. Well, turns out that Hawaii Food Basket is actually a subsidized food distributor here on the island that has grants from our government to help promote local and sustainable agriculture. And I went ahead and told her, yeah, sure, I'll harvest the cabbages and bring them in. And she did tell me that, she was going to pay me for them. I didn't really bother to ask. I figured that they were a wholesaler and I'd get market, wholesale price, and that's fine, because I do have too many. I was no way I could eat them all, and usually I will take care of these abundances here on the farm by just putting a sign on the road, cabbages, sweet corn, whatever it is, and people will usually help get them out of here for me. That's how I have been dealing with it, but, there's some uncertainties in that because you never know. And I can end up dumping crops. We're getting to the point with pineapples, for instance. I have so many of these things that I will have to worry about where they're going soon. Anywho, well, it turns out once I showed up with my cabbages, they not only loved my cabbages, which was nice to hear because they were clean, no bug bites, no slugs. They were really good looking. And the perfect market size, not too big, not too small. But they loved them, and so I started talking to them about price. Well, it turns out she asked me, what do you want for them? And I went, really? Okay. Yeah, so I gave her a fair price for the cabbages, and then we started talking about other things that she might need or want that I can provide. And I said, well, I grow sweet corn. I said, right now I don't have a crop I can sell you because the crop I have in the field has been contracted to somebody else here. And so that one's already spoken for, but I can certainly plant more of this stuff. I said, the only problem is that it's a very expensive crop to grow. It takes a lot of fertilizer. And she says, well, what do you mean by expensive? I said, well, I can't sell the stuff for less than $1 an ear here. That's the usual going market price. She says, oh, that's fine. And if you want to shuck it for us, well, I'll give you $1.25 an ear. And I'm like, huh? That's retail, I said. Well, she says, well, yeah, we pay retail for this stuff. I said, you got to be kidding me. You're paying retail. And so I guess there's a couple of different programs that they're running. One is that if you have really large quantities of materials, hundreds of things, like we talked about limes because I grow them, and she asked me, well, do you have 360 available right now? I said, well, no, probably more like I have 100 at the moment. And she says, all right, that's good. We can work with that too, because I guess they have one distribution that goes out to, local stores or restaurants, but they have another one that's this food basket thing where they actually have a truck that will drive around to various locations. According to what she gave me, on the first Friday of the month, they're at Hualalai Elderly. They get over to the Edith Kanakaole Stadium over here. They're in Ocean View. They're in a whole bunch of places that they get to. The Hunaka'a Complex at Pahoa, the Sacred Hearts Church, and so on, where this truck goes, I guess, and they do these food baskets where they'll put in, I guess a gob of corn, a head of cabbage, 2 limes, a tomato, and whatever. That they're doing this type of thing for people. And they're actually, because it's a government subsidized program, they are paying retail to the farmers. And the beauty of this is not only is, hey, getting retail, at like 100 pieces of anything, just like that, is really something. I was very excited when I found out about this program. I had heard of it. I'd driven by the place before, and I really had no idea what they were all about until they contacted me and started trying to get me to bring stuff in. Well, I know there's probably a whole lot of other people out there on this island, or people who would like to be here and thinking about wanting to grow crops. This is an awesome program, I mean, a farmer can go to the farmer's market. This is good. You can make a lot of money there, Farmer can sell roadside here. That's another option. You can deal direct if you have big enough supplies right to some of the supermarkets and restaurants. There are so many ways, that you can actually approach the business. Even the bars in town, anything that a barkeep uses, like mint for a mojito or limes for a margarita, on and on. Any of that type of stuff too. It's pretty wide open. You can deal with the health food stores, But this was really a winner because I agreed then that I would raise for them cabbages, broccoli, and sweet corn. We talked about limes, and we also talked about the pineapple crop that will be up and coming later in the year, and that we could get into doing the pineapples with them. Well, I guess the lady lives up in this neck of the woods, and so Tuesday night she's actually dropping by the farm here. We're going to have a conversation and try to figure out what else we can do with this. It's awesome. I mean, it really is. It's an awesome thing because you can more or less guarantee where your stuff's going. You're going to get the right price for it because pretty much within reason, apparently, they will pay whatever you ask. They really want the locally sourced stuff. So this is part of that. Hawaii is trying to promote local agriculture, and food sustainability here. This is definitely part of that program. It's just a wonderful thing. There are so many of us here who do grow, but we really don't have that many acres. I mean, I'm working on 2 acres here. Most of my money comes, from the nursery stock and from seed production, actually, because that's very, very compact. I don't need a lot of room to make a pretty decent living with nursery. But, when it comes to crops like corn, cabbages, pineapples, this takes a lot of room if you're going to really start to make some money off of it. But here you have an operation in Hilo where you're able to actually, they'll commit to taking certain amounts of things. And it didn't seem to matter whether it was a huge amount or whether it was a smaller amount. They have a way that they can deal with either way. So it's just perfectly tailored for the nature of this island. So if you're all out there thinking, gee, I sure wish I could get rid of all this Swiss chard I grew, hey, call them up. The phone number was 933-6030. That's the 808 local here. It's called Hawaii Food Basket. Yeah, they're right over behind Kamaina Motors. That's where they're at over there in the middle of Hilo. Not hard to find. Really easy people to deal with. I was kind of nervous. I had no idea what I was getting into with this. I was visualizing I'm going to cut all these cabbages, clean them and bring them down there and go, oh, I'm sorry, you're too late for the boat. We don't need those anymore. Well, that was not the case. It was, I was received with a red carpet. They did just about anything they could to make it easier for me, including, like I say, make it an appointment to come by the house and talk to us. It's really superb. And so I am encouraging anybody out there who is interested in doing growing to make a contact with this program, see what you can do. It's a really wonderful thing. Aloha, hang loose, and don't let your cabbages rot.